I'm back in black. Where is my man?
We're still allowed to call him
Tony,
No, right?
the
We're
one that
okay?
He's here.
I affectionately dubbed him in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
He is Capone,
Like Al?
like Al. He is so cool, and I've always thought Tone Capone. I don't know why. My man with the perfect teeth. There he is. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Good to hear from you. It's been a minute, man. What you been up to?
Come on, man. You know me. You can't. So full disclosure, Tony's the guy that will invite me to things. And he'll say, "Hey, I know you're not gonna come out. It's my birthday, DB. But I want to invite you anyway." Tony,
Yeah.
I just like your stick to itness because you know I'm a total clown and I'm not gonna hold up my end of it. And you love me anyway. So that's why I like you.
Gotta know my peoples, man. Gotta know my people.
And you've been in both my weddings, so you're a glutton for punishment.
That is true. That is true.
You looking forward to this, big guy? This isn't really your style either, man. You play it close to the vest, but you love Nebraska, man. So how are you playing the whole aura and celebration versus, man, you pretty cool customer.
Listen, I'm happy about it. You know, we get a chance to bring our guys back together and celebrate. You know, obviously something big that we did last year. 30 years ago, and I'm also trying to have the playoff of. You know, last year we had the reunion game versus Colorado, which is a big game. The team stepped up and performed the way they were supposed to. So I'm hoping the same thing happens this year. So I'm excited to see my guys and excited to see some good football.
Tony, as you, you were here last year for it as well, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
How was the atmosphere with it being such a big game, biggest game on Nebraska's schedule, kind of in the non-conference, certainly in the early part of the season? Like, it kind of seemed like your guys' presence helped the team out a little bit. Like, is that how it felt?
That is how it felt. I mean, it was electric. The team stepped up the way they were supposed to. I mean, between, you know, the fans and the team play and just the excitement around the reunion, I'm expecting more of the same. I mean, we've started out this year the way we're supposed to, right? I mean, things are looking well for us. We got a close win, you know, at the beginning of the season. Then we played two teams who were lesser teams the way we're supposed to. Now we got this reunion game, and it's the welcome to the Big Ten, and it's Michigan. Like, there's no better setting, right? You know, so if we get this thing going the right way, this could mean, you know, quite a bit for the future of the season.
I always like talking to you and being around you because you kind of ooze intensity even without trying, right? It's kind of no nonsense. And you were part of a stretch where, and I told this story, right? I mean, we were trying to learn how to win in '94, and we went in down at the half to Wyoming, and it was not good, right? Like, you're part of that chalk talk, like we were, and on offense. And I felt like last week was kind of a stepping stone in emotional maturity, right? You did something to an opponent you were supposed to do,
Right.
and it's part of the maturation process. We're pretty dismissive, though, as a fan base. Do you, former captain, you know, NFL vet, national champ, do you feel like there's value in doing what you did last week, what you're supposed to, in a game preceding Michigan that has value? Is there part of the growth hurdle that matters from last week to this week, given your experience?
Yeah, so I think it all matters. I mean, I think when you consider, you know, what has happened, let's say over probably the last, you know, 6 or 7 years, you know, in the past we played a lesser team. We weren't guaranteed to play that lesser team the way we're supposed to, right? I mean, we just in those years we didn't show up the way we're supposed to. And this year, even though you've got younger guys that are playing, they're still playing the way they're supposed to. I mean, that's the key. Like, we got to have our consistent play, right? We got to be able to count on certain things that happen regardless of who we're going to play. And when we can do that, knowing that we're going into a big match, I mean, I think there's a lot of power in that. So I'm excited. You know, I think we got a chance to do something special here this year. And with this particular game, especially Michigan, especially with, you know, their highly touted quarterback, our highly touted quarterback, I mean, there's a big challenge, you know, that we have to take on. And I think we can make this happen.
Tony, you brought up something interesting there with a lot of young guys. I think we sort of forget this is still a really young football team.
Yeah.
They're older in spots, right? Secondary is a little bit older, offensive
Yeah.
line a little bit older. But overall, this is a very young team. A ton of young guys have played. I think Coach Rhule said still the youngest team in the Big Ten. How much value do you put in the fact that despite the young age and general lack of experience, that they have really been able to look exactly how they're supposed to look so far this year?
Well, I think that says a lot about what Coach Rhule, the kind of culture that he's creating. You talked about that Akron game where they're playing and they're winning at halftime, but he goes in and he's not happy with this particular play, lights into him, and then all of a sudden they come out and play better. Like there's an expectation for what Nebraska football is supposed to be, and when you tell, even when they're younger, you let them know this is the kind of the standard, and they start to live up to that. I think that sets us up for a great future. I mean, like right now, again, even though we've got younger guys, let's say we end the season, 10-2, 9-3, whatever the case may be. These younger guys are only going to get better, right? And that expectation, they're going to be able to uphold that for the next 2 years. So, we're setting ourselves up to be really, really good over the next couple of years. So I'm happy with the direction of the program, and I'm hoping that continues to improve.
It's interesting. You have a unique perspective. You get guys like myself, D Jones. We're like, hey, TV, Warren Academy, can you help our kids out? Can you help get some workouts with Caleb? Can you help Donnie?
Yeah.
You get a unique perspective of watching young local guys seek some input that you get to help train. Do you have a hard time separating, hey, these guys, they need my tutelage versus, hey, they can help us win in the future because I'm a Nebraska alum? Or are you like, I'm going to do what I can in the moment. I don't know how this is going to correlate to Nebraska getting W's, but for right now, I'm going to stay in the moment. Or do you see it when you're training all of these young guys, knowing that they aspire to do and have the opportunity to do what they have an opportunity to do on Saturday?
When it comes down to it, man, myself and a lot of other coaches within Warren Academy were blessed with, some great experience. And we just want to get back to the next generation right now. Now, obviously, I'm Nebraska through and through. So I would love for, all of our ballers to be able to end up in Nebraska. But I hope, Husker faithful doesn't hate me saying this, but that's not necessarily the goal. The goal is to get these guys to the next level. And whether that ends up being Nebraska or some other organization, we just want them to be successful long term. Now, the fact that your son and Donnie ended up going to Nebraska, I think that's amazing, man. I love that, because that's family, right? And we can allow these kids to get better and bring it back to family, and hopefully raise a banner at some point, with these kids. That's amazing. But if that doesn't happen, that's fine, because we're still raising the play and the talent of our athletes here, and allowing the rest of the world to see that Nebraska's got something to offer.
Tony, as you kind of look at some of these young guys on defense, and you're watching, whether it's the defensive line, which is super green with a lot of those guys in there and their inexperience, have you? I'm sure you've heard the narratives about, they're too small to stop the run, and they're too small for Michigan's offensive line. As you've actually watched them this year, and you're not just looking at their weights in the program, how do you think they've played? Has their size jumped off to you in a negative way in the way the defensive line has played this year?
Shoot, you fit in a run game behind some smaller guys, right?
Yeah, I don't look at it from a size perspective. I look at it, from a more of experience and a dog in a fight type perspective. It's, again, you've got some young guys. So I'll be 100% honest. When I watched the Cincinnati game, I was concerned. I'm not gonna lie, I was concerned. I'm like, okay, they're getting too many yards per carry. This quarterback is running up and down the field, and we're going into the Big Ten. You've got to be able to shut things down in the trenches. This is smash my football, right? So I'm still concerned about that standpoint. Behind that, I think the secondary is a strength. I think they're doing well, and I think that's going to help us in this game quite a bit. But that is still one area that we need to shore up. And it just is what it is. And going up against this game is going to be a huge challenge, because they've got, I think, it's the top running back in the Big Ten or the nation or something like that, and then you got a running quarterback. So challenge on, right? Challenge on.
TV, let me ask you, as a guy that you made a living, we played a lot of 11 robber, a lot of man free, some under type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What are some differences or degrees of difficulty with wanting to play man to man on the back end, but be able to stop the run with your front six or front seven? Because not all run fits are created equal. If you think the strength is Nebraska's secondary, what are some keys that you think Nebraska has to be able to do, kind of not falling for the eye candy and just varying the degrees of difficulty between stopping the run playing zone versus stopping the run playing man to man?
Well, I think I know what it comes down to. In my opinion, like number one, you've got to put more people in the box. You've got to keep this quarterback corralled, and when you've got a dynamic quarterback that can make things happen with his feet, that's just tough altogether. Because as a DB, that means sometimes you're going to have to be covering a little longer than you want to cover, right? I was fortunate enough to be behind some guys who, for the most part, you had 3 seconds to throw the ball, if that. Otherwise, you're going to be in your back, right? So, we've got to worry about that a little bit. And with a younger, more unexperienced, defensive line, are we going to be able to get pressure on that quarterback, right? Or is he going to have a lot of time to run around? So that's one issue. The other thing is, you can be a great secondary. You can, stop the run for 3 or 4 plays in a row. And if you take one play off as a defensive, secondary, and let one over the top, like that can be deflating, right? You've played your butt off, for 5 or 7 minutes, and all of a sudden you let one play, destroy kind of what happened. So there's always a chance of that. But I think the thing that's going to work well with us, and I think that the thing that John Butler does well is disguise. I think he's going to give a number of different looks. I would love to say we can go back to the old day and let's just play man up, man free, bubble, and go get them every single time. But I think we're going to have to do some different things to be successful, and I think that's going to happen.
Foreman told a funny story when he first got to Buffalo, right? Because we did play in that bubble, and you play a linebacker in a 3 technique, and so Foreman told a story about being in Buffalo, and he was asking his DC, hey, what do I got to do for this, that, and the other? And he said his coordinator was joking with him that he's like, man, you played a 3 tech your whole college career, like you should be able to stop the run. I asked Grant on Big Red Wrap Up a couple weeks ago, hey, could you, like, what are the differences? Could you play in a 4-eye? Could you play in a 5? And he was honest. He was like, no. I played in a 6. I played in a 7. I was outside shoulder of a tackle or a tight end. I didn't have to do a ton. Right. Would TV like to play now in 2025 if you had your same skill sets? Or do you kind of like the way it was and how you got to play defense?
Man, I like the way it was. I'll be honest with you. I think if I had to play in today's,
you don't want to cover slots?
I feel like my strengths would not be. I think my weaknesses would be exposed, man. I'm not trying to cover them, 4 guys in the slot. I'm good. Leave me in the deep middle. Let somebody throw the ball across the middle and let me clean up. I can do that all day.
Is it weird that it's almost like, and I look at guys like Ed Reed, right? Hall of Famer. And I'm thinking, or Troy Palma. It's like, could these deep hole guys actually play today? And I don't want to think of the game like that, but you train these guys, you see them young. Offensively, it is so much different than it used to be.
Dude, it's so hard. It is so hard now because obviously they change the rules a little bit more. You can't touch the quarterback. Give them a little bit more time. These
illegal hands is like 5. It's 5.
Yeah, I mean, like what's the deal? I mean, I can't smash a cat coming across the middle anymore. Like it's just a different game. But but it's challenge on, right? You also have a situation where a lot of these DBs are playing 7-on-7, for 2 years before they get to college. So I think, some of that has to come into play because they're used to seeing like different routes and more pass combinations than we have in the past. So, I think when it's all said and done, it kind of evens out. And, I'm happy that I have the opportunity to do it, but I'm glad I don't have to.
Tony, as you look towards this weekend, do you have a sense on how you feel like this one's going to go?
I don't know, man. I just want to win. I mean, it's their strength versus our weakness, right? Which is a little bit tough from a run defense standpoint. I think if we can take care of the ball and we can just limit the amount of big plays, I think we got a really good chance. But our defensive line, our front seven has to come to play. Like when it's all said and done, they have to come to play because I think that's what it's going to come down to.
I'll get you out on this, TV. Anybody in particular that you're looking forward to hanging out with? I mean, you don't have to pick your favorites, but I mean, we're still really, really close. I'm talking to T. Fraze yesterday, and we're going back and forth telling jokes. Is the camaraderie and chemistry what you miss the most and what you're looking forward to this weekend? Because for a lot of alphas in the room, man, that was an awfully tight-knit group.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, you know how it is. I just want to see my guys. It's been. I tell you, I don't know if he's coming back, but I had a chance to speak to him briefly about a month ago, and that's Minner. Mike. Yep. So if he comes back, that'll be great because I haven't seen him in person in probably 10 years. But otherwise, man, I just like to see my guys, man. Every time we have this type of thing, gives us a chance to get together and reminisce about, how good we thought we were, whatever the case may be. And we get better every year, obviously that type of situation. But it's always a good time. And I know, these chances to celebrate each other are lessening because we're getting older. So, I mean, we got to cherish this and hopefully we can get a win on top of it.
Yeah, as one Pisces to another, and, I know black don't crack, man. You look fantastic.
Man, I'm trying to keep up with you, brother. I mean, I feel like I'm doing okay, but when I see you, I'm like, man, this cat. And he didn't even use shoe polish or nothing. I mean, like, he's doing good.
I always joke with Ravi. He's like, man, you hate pictures. I'm like, I took so many collisions. I got this misshapen head. The forehead is swollen. The helmet.
You've been tripping with your pictures, man. I don't know what the heck is going on, dude. I've been doing this for 40 years. I don't understand it.
Oh, not you too.
Yeah, you tripping, man. You tripping. Got a beautiful family. Everybody else is smiling, and you looking here like, man, why are we taking these pictures? Like, come on.
Listen, you keep it a buck, so I'm not mad at you, but you could have saved that for me and you.
I knew I liked you, Tony.
Good.
Everybody.
We appreciate the time. Enjoy the weekend, not just the game, but the festivities celebrating the 95 team as well. Look forward to seeing you.
I get the first hug, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All good, brother. See you this weekend.
All right, my man.